Hi, I'm Jeff Fuller from Sporting Dog Adventures TV. I support Vanishing Paradise because restoring the Mississippi River Delta is a conservation fight of our generation. Please watch this video so you can learn more about it.
Louisiana is known as the sportsman's paradise. Its 3.4 million acres of wetlands are essential habitat for an incredible range of fish and wildlife, leaving boundless opportunities for hunters and anglers. But because of natural and man-made causes, this great American paradise is vanishing.
Essentially, in order to control flooding on the Mississippi River and improve navigation, we've carved canals, we've put levees up, and we've starved this system of sediment. And we've also allowed saltwater to penetrate deep into it and eat away these wetlands. And without the river being able to get back out there and replenish that sediment, the wetlands continue to starve and they continue to sink.
Even under its current crisis, the Mississippi River Delta supports incredible fishing and is the winter home for 70% of the waterfowl in the Central and Mississippi flyways. But if nothing is done to restore the Delta, those hunting and fishing opportunities will eventually be lost forever.
The fishing here is amazing. And it's amazing because we still have some resources that are out there. We still have a lot of remnant wetland left from when the Mississippi River was allowed to build those wetlands back before the levees were built. But it's great in certain parts of this coast because the marsh is essentially dying and the ecosystem is feeding upon itself. And as that marsh dies and decays, it feeds the food chain from the top to the bottom. Once there's no more marsh out there to decay, once there's no more biomass or organics out there to break down and feed the system, then the fisheries is going to collapse.
This is connective tissue to where I live in eastern Montana. I live in the heart of the prairie pothole region of America. The duck factory is what everybody's used to calling it. And it acts like a duck factory when we get water. So if you get wintertime snow and you get good spring moisture, all these little depressions and ponds fill up with water, ducks come and they make babies. All those ducks that we raise come down here to winter in southern Louisiana. If there's no winter habitat, we don't get ducks in the springtime.
Approximately 50 miles south from the city of New Orleans lies an area of the Delta that maintains a connection to the river. The levee ends here on the river's eastern side and allows a natural flow into the adjacent wetlands. This vibrant area is a stark contrast to just across the river on the western side, where the levee stands and most of those wetlands have washed away.
Where we went to the east side of the river first and looked at an area that's a very healthy marsh because there are a lot of natural gaps in the riverbank here that allow the water and the sediment to go out. And so you see lush vegetation over there. You see areas that are perfect for waterfowl habitat. You see ponds with good water and grass in them that hold a lot of fish.
This was like something out of Jurassic Park here. I mean, lush with these giant elephant ears, and I mean, the setting changes every 100 feet. You go from those, really thick cane banks to a flooded grass bank. The next thing you know, it's like you're pitching lily pads for largemouth, but there's redfish in them.
The contrast of that is going on the west side, where we still caught plenty of fish, but we had to catch them in very isolated areas, very small strips of marsh where those fish are concentrated. You don't have the ponds over there. You don't have the vegetation. What you have is an area that at one time used to look like the east side of the river and now is just open water from here to the Gulf of Mexico.
It's really night and day, and it's amazing how they can be that close together and have this completely lush and fertile fishing area and ducks, and right across the road, I mean, you literally walk across the street and it's starting to become a dead zone.
There is no time to lose. Steps must be taken to reconnect the Mississippi River with its delta. If nothing is done, America will lose one of its great natural resources.
I think a lot of conservation issues are confounding to people because they don't really know how to solve them. People get intimidated and they get a little bit turned off because they don't know even how to understand it. This is an issue where everybody can learn how to fix it because the solutions are really simple. We've got to let that river flow. We've got to let it go through structures where we have to, because we've got shipping industries, we got oystermen, we've got, we don't do any of this in a vacuum. We've got to work within the real world. All right, so we're going to have to pump sediment into some places where we can't let the river do it. But where we can, the most cost-effective permanent solution is to let the Mother Mississippi be a mama to this entire orphanage of impaired habitat on the coast.
We may never get back all 2,000 square miles that we lost. In fact, we will never get them all back. But we can fix the ecosystem, and the way to fix that ecosystem is to allow this river to become part of its delta again. Allow it to move the sediment and the resources out into these areas. It's going to shift some fisheries around. It's going to make things a little bit inconvenient for some folks in the short term, but in the long run, we all win. And not just the hunting and fishing community, but the city of New Orleans and all of the communities and all of the infrastructure that we have down here to provide energy and fisheries for the entire nation. All of that wins when we have healthy wetlands down here.